Hi, good morning, St. Anne's children, kids, young people. We didn't have a children's conversation this morning because there was nobody here for me to converse with. It's really kind of empty here at church, and I miss you all so much. So that I could make it into a conversation, I actually had a conversation with the Milhan kids last night, and I asked them, what are your questions amid all of this staying home pandemic virus thing? And I got a really good question. And the question was from one of my kids, said, I know that God's going to get us through this, but I just want to know how. Which I think is a great question, because you know what? That's my question too. Yeah. And don't you think, from the reading that I gave during the service this morning, how when all that craziness happened and Judas betrayed Jesus and then they hauled him off with the soldiers and there was fighting and there was, they tied him. Yeah, it was just awful. I'm imagining that his followers said, we know he's going to get us through this, but we just don't know how. And then we know the end of the story because we do know what's going to happen next Sunday. Next Sunday is going to be Easter. And we do know how Jesus got us out of all of that. But you know what? We never know ahead of time. And God's answers to our prayers are usually full of a lot of surprises. So I know you're all praying because you just don't like not being able to play with your friends. If you're like us, we have friends across the street and we kind of wave and say hi. And or they step outside their door and say hi. Maybe you're doing that. And maybe you're even talking to your friends over your phone, just like I'm talking to you over my phone. God's going to get us through this. And you know what? I don't know how. But usually, I can tell you this, because I've read it in other stories, and it kind of always keeps playing itself out over and over again. When things get really bad, that's when God does his biggest stuff. So my thought that I want to share with you is just like in the past, that God is going to take this and something spectacular is going to come out of it. It's going to be a whole new way of going to school, a whole new way of being with our friends, a whole new way of caring about people, and a whole new way of looking at the whole world as one big family. Because we really care about the people with this virus, not just here in St. Anne's, and not just here in Seminole, Largo, and not just here in Florida, and not just here in the United States, but all over the world. There are kids and families everywhere in the world who are sort of worried. But you and I know God's got this. We're going to get through it. You know what I just thought of as the bear hunt? Can't go over it, can't go around it, can't go under it, got to go through it. We're going to go through it. God's going to walk right through it, just like Moses going through the water. We're going to walk right through this, and pretty soon, next, who knows when, we're going to look back on this, and we're going to tell stories about you can't believe what it was like, and isn't it great what happened? So thank you. I'm glad you had a chance to watch, and I wish we could just talk, but not now. So I will see you soon, I'm sure. God bless.